has gelled is this tight end group. So I got a couple of plays from Isaiah Likely. Have a couple of plays from Mr. Josh Oliver, and a bunch of plays from Mark Andrews. And actually, I had to cut out some plays from Mark Andrews because he had so many. I mean, dude, we could do like a 3-hour film session on Mark Andrews. But here he is, Isaiah Likely. Is he a receiver, Ashley? Pretty much. Isaiah Likely has a long way to go when it comes to blocking. And when I was on with Ken McCusick, he asked me about what I thought about Isaiah Likely's improvement in that area. And what I think, Ashley, is yes, he will get marginally better. Um, he looks a little like lost in the blocking game right now. So I think the mental part will get better for Isaiah Likely. But Ashley, he's 6'4", 240. So like, and short armed. So that is not the kind of guy you can ask to block like a Jahab Ward we're looking at right here, or these big guys in the middle. That's just like, it's physically impossible. And actually, even if he puts on like 15 pounds, he still might have problems, and that might cost him with his quickness and his route running.
Yeah, I agree. And I never want to be too tough on rookies, especially I feel like we hyped him up a lot because we were hearing people saying that he's a baby Mark Andrews and everyone was getting excited that we could potentially have two. But I feel like that was a lot of pressure to put on him. So I just want to see how he progresses on the team, how he fits into a role that he can perform at his best ability. Moving into the season, I was very confident in our tight end group, regardless of who was playing. I know that we had some injuries with Nick Boyle and Mr. Yuri brought him Kolar. Thank you.
Yep.
We had some injuries with them, so I was worried that we were going to use Mark too much and then put a lot of that pressure on Likely. But so far, the tight end group has looked what we expected of them to look.
Exactly. But, Isaiah Likely, as we get into it, quickness, route running, that's his thing. He is not a blocker at this point. He is basically a big slot receiver. And actually, I think that's what's going to keep a guy like James Prochet off the field. Greg Roman prefers that size, likely lit it up in the preseason. So let's look at his quickness. And what strikes me on this play, number 48 thinks he has him. See him point to him? Got you. No, you don't. There he goes. So number 48, Crowder, is going to try to wall him off, force him up the field, and likely cuts this. Watch him put his foot in the ground, and he's gone. Easy throw for Lamar Jackson. And then Ashley, his run after catch ability really stuck out to me in the preseason, Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, and like you were saying, how Roman prefers him, he's basically a big-bodied receiver that we don't, other than Bateman, we don't really have. You know, Bateman is, I don't know how tall exactly Bateman is, but he's one of the bigger receivers on our team. So Likely fills in that role that we've been lacking.
He definitely does. And I can't wait for him to get more and more playing time in the slot. I would love to see us spread things out more and not have everybody condensed and scrunched towards the line of scrimmage. But I mean, this is a little bit of smarts here too, something you can't teach. He cuts it a little short to make sure he crosses 48 up, and there's just no way to defend that. And we're going to see something similar here on this second play. Quickness again. There he is. And just watch how fast he gets out of here. That's more speed than quickness. And, of course, a nice catch. But, he's taking a good angle. He's cutting it short to not allow anybody to make contact with him. I mean, that's a safety on him right there, number 24. There's no chance to cover that, Ashley. That looks like a preseason drill. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do if you're 24? You have no chance there, Ashley.
Yeah, and I'm also impressed and happy to see the improvement of his hands, because that was a little concerning when he first came into games at the beginning of the season. I know he had a few drops, but especially Lamar placing it right there, him being there on time for it, I'm liking what we're seeing from him, and he's only going to get better.
Exactly. And, his speed just shows up, though, Ashley, over and over again. Speed, quickness. You can see what kind of an athlete Isaiah Likely is and why he was drafted, even though blocking is not his thing. So yeah, when Yuri says he likes Kolar over Likely, one of the reasons I like Kolar is we can line him up like we're about to see right now. Josh Oliver in line as a tight end. Josh Oliver, Ashley, not sure if you or any of our fans know, but coming out of a small college was much like Isaiah Likely. Man, here's this receiving tight end, but he can't block, and he's from a smaller school, and blah blah blah. And Oliver was drafted in the third round, I believe, so similar to Likely. The Jags pretty much gave him away. It was a conditional seventh round pick for us to get him, so we weren't even guaranteed any compensation. He had to play his way into us giving him a seventh. But he has really stepped up in the blocking game to where you can put him on the field as a blocker, and the other team has to bring in a linebacker to counter that. Then all of a sudden, you got heavier personnel on the field. So the guy he's blocking is the guy to his left, who is the big cat, Leonard Williams. Football fans will know Leonard Williams as just they would think he was a top 5 pick. He's called the big cat for a reason. And watch Isaiah Likely lean into Leonard Williams on this play and displace him. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Morgan Moses is supposed to take over on this block, number 78, but he's like, well, damn, where'd he go? Ashley, I know you're not necessarily a big girl over there, but I think that you could play Morgan Moses on this snap. That handoff block from Mr. Oliver. What do you think?
Listen, I don't want to give him too much. I feel like you already dug into him. I don't want to add on to it.
Yeah. Big cat Leonard Williams doesn't need our sympathy. He's a great player. Here's another blocking highlight from Mr. Oliver. You see him again, keep his feet running. That's Jihad Ward. We know him well, Ashley. Tough run defender, tough guy to move. Just a tough guy. You know what I mean? Jihad Ward's a tough guy. Watch him keep his feet moving and just pedal Jihad Ward into a pile. One of those big runs by Kenyon Drake. Look at Ronnie Stanley getting downfield, by the way. Nice to see. So a couple of good blocks. There's Ricard kick out. There's Zeitler. We watch a lot of Zeitler on the move. Number 70, Ashley. Check him out at right guard, number 70. Get to that spot, find his guy, wall him off. Just perfect blocking. You see Ronnie running downfield. The running game really coming into shape. Josh Oliver. Here we go again. A third, or this is the replay. Another block. Look at everybody execute up there. That's a lot of room. I think I could have got 10 yards on that. I might have pulled a hammy. Okay. So Josh Oliver, how about those catches, Ashley? He had 2. One counted, one did not count. But the hands, it was just spectacular. And we're going to see one of them right here. Really got me pumped during the game. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a big Oliver fan. I know that he wasn't an exciting, flashy signing, but he's been very serviceable. And like you said, he had to play his way into that pick. We got him for nothing. What more can you ask for of him?
Yeah, and Roman challenged him, if you remember last year. Oh, what do you think about, like they served him a softball question like reporters tend to do. What do you think about Josh Oliver? He's looking good and great. And Roman was like, if he can't block, I can't use him. He's going to have to prove that. And we've seen that improvement, and he's gotten himself on the field more and more, getting snaps ahead of Nick Boyle now, who was known for his blocking. So Nick Boyle is another story. It's pretty sad, man. I don't even really want to talk about it. But let's watch Oliver on this circus catch right here. See him release, get checked, keeps going. And this throw by Lamar is a low-key great throw. Low-key, how would he even want to throw it? Because look at the window here, Ashley. How in the heck? Yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to cuss Lamar out for trying this throw or if I want to compliment him for, like, how brilliant of a throw this is. Look at this.
I remember my dad saying something about it like that. Kind of crazy for that.
Kind of crazy. But you know what, Ashley? There's really not a lot of people open. And I think that's catching up to Lamar. But yeah, I had to throw the circus catch on there. Josh Oliver, obviously, what a catch. He gets his left hand under the ball. You can see on the TV replay. You see the left hand, and that's what saved him. That ball did not move. So let's look at this route leverage by Josh Oliver. You see him on the end of the line. Look at that separation right there, Ashley. It's a beautiful thing to see. So he's going to lean into number 37. I believe that's the safety, Dane Belton. And then just kind of push him off a little bit and create that separation. You can see the down markers. It's first down. That's 8 yards on a first down right there. Oh, craftiness in his game, Ashley. You see it here in slower motion. He's going to lean into him and then, and just get that little push to be able to separate, knowing he's headed out the whole time. Sorry for that. Knowing that he's going to be breaking out the whole time. So he's going to lean in with his left shoulder, left hand, and then just turn around, balls on time from Lamar, bam, using a route leverage. That's some good old fashioned route running. So now, Mark Andrews, let's talk about him real quick, Ashley. What the heck will we do without Mr. Mark Andrews? Like, he got a quote unquote rest day today. I'm so glad to see it because I'm, nervous Nelly over here. I'm afraid we're going to wear this man out. I don't care if he practices again the whole rest of the season. Like, give him the start treatment. Like, he'll be ready to play. His chemistry with Lamar is fine. I mean, what an absolute monster. I said on Ken's show, Ashley, if you were drafting right now, you put all the players in a draft, he's the first overall tight end that you would draft for your team right now because Kelsey's on the back end and all that other stuff. Like, when you take age and performance into consideration, it's Mark Andrews, and he's a tier above everyone else for his age and what he could provide the next 5 years or so while he's still in his prime.
Yeah, last year he really proved that he is tight end one of the league. And I don't really see how it's even a debate at this point.
Yeah, and he's really come a long way on his blocking too. And when I first noticed it, Ashley, was when Nick Boyle went down in 2020. I saw, like, I don't know, it's one of those intangible things. Like, I saw an attitude from Mark Andrews, attitude change. Like, man, we don't got our guy Nick no more to knock people around. Remember, we had this one run in the end zone where Mark Andrews pushed the guy all the way out and finished him off like you would see Boyle or Ricard do. And, like, it seems like since then, Mark has just taken his blocking to another level, like all parts of his game. And that's very impressive. Ashley, you know, there's no diva in him is what I'm saying. He takes, he's going to block for his teammates the same way as he's going to try to get open for himself.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people had been saying, like, well, Kelsey was the tight end one and Kittle was the number one blocking tight end. Mark is the best of both worlds. Like I said, I don't even think it's a debate at this point anymore that he is the best in the league, and he's such a huge part of this offense. If we didn't have him or Lamar, this team would be a nightmare to watch week after week.
All right, so here's one of those plays. A lot of these stats that I've been seeing lately with Ricard in the slot, I'm like, no, he doesn't line up in the slot this much, but I think they count plays like this as him as a slot receiver. See, Ricard started past the line of scrimmage here. You can see number 42, Ricard, in motion. And what this is going to be a little screen, simple play, bubble screen to Duvernay, and Mark and Ricard. Pick both of them because they're both going to make great blocks on this play. Check out Mr. Andrews first here, Ashley. Stalk his prey, as I like to say. Square him up and then get him out of there. And then, of course, Ricard, what I love about Project Pat. Let's watch Project Pat on this one together, Ashley. He's also going to find this little guy, square him up. And then at this point, that man's got to write home to his family because Ricard's a step over too. Excuse me, sir. So just a great play. Really not much analysis to be had. Being able to square up smaller players in space, to have two guys, combined, 550 pounds. Being able to get these DBs and knock them and square them up is something else, Ashley. You don't see a lot of big guys with that kind of like nimbleness, mobility to be able to square smaller guys up.
Yeah, they're just amazing. I would love to see more of this because I feel like we're seeing, especially toward the end of games when we're trying to push downfield, I feel like we see so much of Andrews used, and he's very good at what he does. So I don't have a problem with it, but I wish we would see more of this so that we have other options for our targets, so that people like Duvernay see the field more, see more targets in games.
Right. And see, like, this is what they would consider a heavy formation. And it is. There's only one receiver on the field. Oliver's down here blocking, by the way. So you got Oliver, Andrews, Ricard. That's three heavies. And then you got, Duvernay in there as your, I guess, only receiver on this play. But this is also what we're talking about. Instead of having Duvernay run routes, Ashley, to be a route runner, to have him more in this manufactured touch roles because he's so good at it. So that's why I'm hoping a guy like Deshaun Jackson just gives the Ravens enough confidence to put him in there to clear out the space so we can have not a play exactly like this, but a play that has the same effect as this, where you get Duvernay the ball in space. Duvernay, if he had just one more move right here, Ashley, one more move, bro, he'd be out. He'd be out.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrews blocking again. Short run up for this one. Sorry, guys, but wanted to show you when the touchdown, the tape got cut a little short on this. But you see him, his best friend, 48, man, had a tough day, Crowder. So he's going to crawl up to him. You can see Crowder try to get to the middle, but Andrews walls him off just enough. Does not hold. Would have been very easy to hold there, Ashley, because Crowder's trying to, he sees the ball, he's trying to go. Andrews does just enough, no jersey tug, and that's going to pave the way. And again, on this play, a lot of good blocks. Ricard kicking out. You see Powers pulling. Duvernay even playing little handsies out there just to get enough. It takes everybody to do their job to break a long run like this. We're going to get into the receiving here, the toughness of Mark Andrews. We've seen it. You know you're going to take one into the chops when you run a seam route like that. That's a seam route, fellas, straight up the seam. Even though they're not on the hash marks. Andrews takes a good lick, keeps on ticking. Okay, so now we'll get into some of what makes Mark Andrews special. I love this one. This is my favorite clip of the day. I want you to watch the nuance in this, Ashley, and how he's able to shake free. This is what I consider to be an option route. You see that term a lot, and I want to explain it for a second. Andrews is one of the few players that has the option, as it says, to either say he's going to watch the defense and they'll be like, all right, Mark, if the defender does this, you can go left. The defender's a little left or there's a crowd there, you can go right. You have the option. You're not running a blank out, an out or an in or a go. So Mark Andrews runs a lot of option routes. And because of that, Ashley, the receivers get bunched together. And I think some of that is on Roman because you're going to see, I think that's Duvernay above Mark Andrews here, and they're going to be in the same area. But Mark's just finding open space. And what I would like to see on this from a G-Row criticism perspective is to just have Duvernay head to hell upfield, bro. You know what I mean? Just give Mark space. So watch what happens. Watch the route running of Mr. Mark Andrews here on this play. But Yuri will love this. Little hand fighting. And nope. See you later. Out and bam. See what I'm saying about Duvernay, though? He's doing a comeback. He's running a comeback route. He's going to stop at the sticks. Well, now you got two receivers in the same area. So I'm pretty sure that that's an option route where Mark could have either broke it in or, like he did, set the receiver up or set the DB up in, shuck him, a little veteran move with the little hand swipe, come out, and then, of course, fight for extra yards. We see that a lot from Mr. Mark Andrews, don't we, Ashley?
Yeah, we do. And something I love about Mark Andrews, too, is if for whatever reason something's not working, he will look to get open to help out Lamar when he's seeing, the field, nobody else is open, nobody has separation. He will find a way to help his quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that was a first down, too. If you look at the first down markers, you can see the number 1 up there. It's kind of hard to see. But that's a 1st and 10. This isn't like, he's fighting for those yards, even though it's not like 4th down in game. You know what I mean? Like, he just naturally, that's the way he does. He is a hard-nosed player. So yeah. Just like I said, I cut out probably 5 other plays from strength through route. Okay, so what do you do when you have a player like Mark Andrews, Ashley? You put your defensive end. We've seen the Ravens ask Gaddafi away to do this. Number 5, Kayvon Thibodeau, top 5 pick, I believe. He's going to chip Mark Andrews. And then the guy right behind him, number 20, is the guy actually guarding Mark Andrews. And he's going to give him the business as much as he can just to try to disrupt the timing in Mark Andrews' route. So this isn't like a great sharp cut route, but I want you to notice his balance and how Mark Andrews never gets thrown off schedule here. Boom, boom. He disappears a little bit, but I thought this was a great angle. And then, of course, he reappears right into Lamar's. And Lamar's going to throw this, and he allows Lamar to throw with anticipation. You know what I mean? He knows Andrews is going to be there. Pretty good throw off the back foot, little fadeaway jumper, as I like to call it, from Lamar. But, yeah, Mark Andrews has to fight his butt off to get in that spot. And Lamar is going to be moved off his spot, if you notice. He's going to have to roll right, feel a little pressure coming in. Linderbaum gets beat. He rolls right and still hits Mark Andrews. So it takes a lot to throw him off his game, Ashley. Very strong player. If you bump him, you better really mean it to get him off his route.
Yeah, and that play just speaks a lot to the chemistry that him and Lamar have built up over the past few seasons together.
It really does. It really does. So release off the line of scrimmage. Now, I believe this is the touchdown, Ashley. The catch is really nice. The throw is perfect. Remember he juggled it a little bit in the
Yeah.
end zone? Yeah, it's one of those things where I love being able to bring this up later, because it worked out great. Stop juggling the ball, Mark. I got a heart over here. You know what I mean? I don't need a heart condition. But he held on and made the catch. But that's not the most impressive part of this play, Ashley. I want you to see wide receiver Mark Andrews. I'll put that in quotes. But this is a type of release that you see from good wide receivers. Watch the quickness on here, ma'am. What? What? There he is. He juggles it. What in the what? You know what I mean? Ba 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 ba. Like if Duvernay does that, I'll lose my mind. That's the kind of stuff I expect Bateman to do, or a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. could do. We're seeing Mark Andrews just embarrass this safety number 37. Bam. In fact, that might be a corner, a former corner, I think. Either way, that man had no chance on that play. That's Foster Moreau. So, yeah, he played, I believe, UCLA, corner at UCLA. People will look at the catch and the throw and be like, yeah, that was great, but you got to see the beginning of this play. I mean, actually, it's almost like speechless stuff. Mark Andrews is 6'5" and a tight end that we just seen move people. We've just seen him hang on to the ball. We've just seen him do all this muscle man type stuff. And then he's got the foot quickness to do this kind of S.
Yeah, my dad is a big Mark Andrews fan, his favorite player on the Ravens. And this play, like you said, we were both just speechless. We just turned and looked at each other. It was just, wow.
So there we go. So Ashley, I almost removed you instead of Think. That wasn't a big deal. Ratings go down when Ashley's not here. So yes, Ashley, though, the tight end group as a whole, no doubt it's a strength. Likely is going to get better. Yuri's guy, Kolar, I agree. I think that here's what I like about Kolar, okay? He's a receiving tight end, but he can block. He's probably maybe even a better receiver than Oliver. Kolar is 6'6", 6'7", with some of the longest arms you ever want to see. And he's got these sweet feet, Ashley, where like if it's around the goal line or around the sideline, he can reach up in some kind of like crazy way because he's 6'7" and lanky, but also has the foot coordination to be able to toe tap and get that in bounds. Like Kolar looks like a red zone. So imagine a formation where you got Andrews and Kolar out there, right? And maybe Ricardo. Okay, so but just imagine Andrews and Kolar. You can take those guys and you can split them out as wide receivers, and all of a sudden you got like a 4 wide receiver set, with Andrews and Kolar acting as a wide receiver. Or you could squish those guys towards the line of scrimmage, make them play tight end, and now you can run the ball down the other team's throat. So if they want to bring in some heavy personnel to defend the 2 tight ends, you spread their butts out, you throw the ball on them. They want to bring in more safeties because Andrews and Kolar are special receivers. Then all of a sudden they look a little light, Ashley, and you see this offensive line start to lean on them. So I like the flexibility that Charlie Kolar could bring to this team.
And I like that this is going to be especially beneficial to that run game that we've, been seeing progress as we move on, but it's going to be there when Gus comes back and the blocking is there made for them, like on that one play with Kenyon Drake's touchdown. I want to see more of that.